Okay. Right, let's pop out the chat. Get the address. Oops. Let's try and create another YouTube chat. Aha. Can anyone see me? How here we go. Looks like something's working now. Testing. Okay. Let me just restore the chat here. Restore chat. Okay. We've got quite a few people here. Now. Okay, so I think this is working. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream test. I'm smiling. It's horribly behind. Okay, so could everybody, when they make a comment, could they just put the time that they make the comment, please? And then that will give me some idea about how behind the comments are from the comments that I can see. So hopefully everybody heard that. I can see, this is really weird. I can see that the chat is not keeping it up. Okay, now I'm on the OBS software. Right, let me switch that one off. Right, which? Aha, so. $12:01. Okay, right. Now it looks like I'm kind of, everybody's sort of up with me here. Okay, so I'm now looking at the OBS software and I can see the comments and I can see myself moving pretty much live with what I'm saying. Okay, so hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? It looks like we've got ones I can see: Beaches, Bikes, Coffee and Cats, Christian, Traxler, Gitta Durden in Oslo. You need to shut down the other stream. You're losing viewers. 12. I haven't got another stream going, I don't think. Profuro Gear, hello there. I can't remember your name, sorry. Thank you for the kit that you sent me a little while ago. Hello there, Dylan. Hello, Bruce. Good to see you. G. Cart, Les Reed, Millie Russell, Patrick Buckley, Julia Jenkins, in Denmead. You're just down the road, blimey. And then we've got Stuart 8080 on the west coast of Australia. And then George Costanza in Toronto, Victoria. Blimey, this is bonkers, isn't it? Tom Revley. Hello there, Tom. John. Mark. So, brilliant. So how's everyone doing this morning? As you've probably seen, I've had a few issues with the live stream. I have absolutely no idea of what I'm doing. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've really been sort of struggling this morning, and then last week it seemed to work perfectly, you know, just by fluke almost. So yes, as you can see, I'm sort of getting there slowly. So Mark, can I stream whilst cycling? I probably can. I know that you can do a live stream from your phone, can't you? Straight onto YouTube. I don't have a massive data plan, I must admit, but it's something that I would like to try when I'm out and about. So Kermit Frog, hello Kermit Frog. Whereabouts are you today then? Glow Bikers, hello from Surrey, UK. Yep, you're just up the road. Whereabouts? Just up the road. Buddy Wheels in East Sussex. Mark Zellenberg in Holland. Good morning, Geneva, Netherlands. Jeffrey, hello there, Jeffrey. How's it going? I'm a global phenomenon. If only that was true. That would be great, wouldn't it? I need tomorrow's lotto numbers. Can exchange. Yeah, with that, tomorrow's lottery numbers would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Be the answer to a lot of uncertainty at the moment. Quick walk today from Julia Jenkins. Tomorrow's lotto numbers. Oh, I've done that one. Plymouth in Devon. Hello. Dean in Hong Kong. Australia, West London. So I suppose the thing is I should be saying something. Now this is basically a test of this live stream, just to see how everything's working. So I've got a few screens on here that I've set up. So as you can see, this is kind of the main screen that I'll probably use. And if I fancy doing a Zwift live screen, I can switch over to this one. So as you can see, the Zwift is there well, it's the left-hand side for me. So can everyone see the Zwift screen? Anyone? Can anyone see the Zwift screen? Have I just done something silly because all the comments have seemed to have stopped? Oh no. Let's go back to the camera with chat. Okay. Isaac, once you have set up the OBS setup, it should be one click and away you go. Yeah, I've been battling with the OBS today, and it doesn't seem quite as straightforward as that. It seems when I go onto YouTube, it wants to use a different browser. I've currently been using Safari, and then it wants me to use Chrome for some reason. So I'm just going to flick over now to actually YouTube. Let's see, we've got 41 people viewing apparently. Right, it seems like I'm watching this on the actual YouTube screen now, and that doesn't make sense. The YouTube comments seem to be behind these comments. So again, I'm just going to ask. I'm looking at this on the OBS now. Just going to go over to the YouTube. You won't notice any change there, but there's a big change for me here. I'm looking at a completely different screen on my laptop. So try changing from top chat to live. Yeah, I've got live chat on the window. So I think what I'm looking at now is live chat. So could everyone just very quickly give me the time that you're posting your comment? So just put a comment down with the time that you see on your computer there. So while you're doing that, I'll just read a few more. If you come off full screen, look at the chat column. Live screen. that can't be working because. Hello, Nige. Yes, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you? Chrome is much better. Yeah, I don't know a good browser from a bad browser. So 1208. Okay, the comments are coming through now with all the timestamps on them. And it looks like the timestamp on the YouTube window that I'm looking at is fairly accurate. It seems like as soon as you're making the comment, it's going live. And then let's go over to, no, it seems to be, so Sinead is the last one. So Mike. Okay, no, it all seems to be, but it's funny that the video that I'm looking at here on the YouTube window is way, way, way behind what I'm actually doing. The OBS window seems to be much more up to date. So what's everyone doing with their cycling? I'm back on the OBS window now, by the way. So what's everyone doing with their cycling wherever they are? As you probably saw on my last vlog, here in the UK we're allowed to go out for an hour or so, and I have to admit I've not been out actually on the road for a few days now, but that's mainly because it's just been too cold for me. Hello there, Kalayan. How are you? I know you're in Bulgaria, aren't you? 7:09 in Ontario. Right. Up the woods. Jeffrey, I enjoyed the group ride on Tuesday as well. That was good fun, wasn't it? I was very impressed that it was a lot like real life in many ways, because although the Zwift thing was keeping us together, um, I could clearly see that I was being dropped on the climbs, and then when the road started going downhill virtually, I started sort of rolling ahead. So it does take weight into account. So that's pretty clever, I thought. And then somehow it all managed to keep us all back together again. Brilliant. So solar rides here in Melbourne. So what's the weather like down in Melbourne at the moment? I imagine you're going into your autumn as we're coming into spring here. I've only ever been in Melbourne during the winter time, and the thing that really, really surprised me was how cold it was. Coming from the UK, you always imagine that Australia is going to be baking hot all year round, but Melbourne wasn't. Frosts and stuff in the morning, and I was actually pretty cold. Simon Mills, you're doing 10 miles outside plus Zwift. That's good. That sounds good to me. And Eleanor Lancaster, good morning, Eleanor. Well, yes, I hoped that the film about the derailleurs would be quite useful, because a few people have been asking me how you do that. I have posted films like that before, but it just seems easier to post it again rather than get everybody to kind of look for it or repost the link. So yes, hopefully everyone's enjoying that and finding that useful. I do appreciate that it's not going to be of benefit to everybody today, but hopefully somebody will get some use out of it. So here we go. Good to hear that you're doing fine, Nige. Nige, I believe you have a YouTube channel as well, don't you? So yeah, hope all that's going well. Any more Zwift rides? Yes, we will be doing Zwift rides. They're all, at the moment, it looks like Tuesday evening seems to be the time for the Zwift rides. I don't know if you know how the system on Zwift works, but basically I need to invite you to come and join the Jolly Good Velo rides. And to do that, you have to be following me on Zwift. So if you follow me, then I'll send you an invite. Although we are coming very close. I think the limit is 50 people. I think we have 35 or something on there at the moment. And again, I'm not 100% sure how that works. So I think it might be 50 invites or 50 people to accept the invites. But I'll just keep going until Zwift says, no, sorry, that's the maximum. And there, cycling on Zwift for Paul there. Yeah, it's a shame you missed it, Ant. Would have been great to have you along. I think there was only about 6 of us in the end, but I think that was basically down to the confusion with the time. When I missed the first ride a week ago on Tuesday, I just rescheduled the ride again. Zwift asked me if I wanted to do it all over again. I just pushed that button, and then for some reason, it scheduled the ride for an hour later. So it was due to start at 7:30, and I only noticed that about 40 minutes before I thought that the ride was due to start. So I quickly rescheduled the time, and I hoped that everybody had made the same mistake that I did, thinking that it was going to start at 7:30. And yeah, I hope everybody wasn't disappointed. Millie Russell managed to pick up a turbo trainer and have done a few sessions, plus still working, so commuting the 5. That sounds like a good kind of balance there, Millie. Doing the turbo trainer and then doing your commuting 5 miles to work and back. Vegan David Box, getting elite real e-motion trainer soon. West Cumbria. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying a smart trainer. They're a little pricey for my taste at the moment. But I understand that they add resistance and they can kind of simulate climbing and everything. So yeah, that might be something for me to look to in the future. Jeffrey just adjusted my brakes. Oh, okay, you ride tubeless, Jeffrey. I must admit, I've never tried tubeless. Must admit again, I don't 100% know how all that works. I know that they've got some sort of slime in them, and that prevents. It doesn't prevent the punctures. It automatically repairs a puncture when it happens, doesn't it? It'd be interesting to find out how big a puncture it will repair. But I'm an old school cyclist, so for me, having normal punctures and fixing them is all part and parcel of the fun, really. Fun, he says. I hate punctures. Funny old times. Had a new hip in November. Had my first 2 rides last week, both 20 milers. Great to get a spin. Well, I hope you're back and up to full fitness soon. I don't know if you've seen the film that I made years and years ago with my friend Terry. He had a full hip, I think both hips replaced, and he's a very strong cyclist. So as far as I know, based on Terry's experience, having hips replaced is no impediment to cycling at all. Mo, going to start following you right now. Okay, yep. I kind of gathered that you meant on Zwift. Yeah, by all means, send me, follow me on Zwift, and I'll send you an invite straight back for the Jolly Good Velo rides that happen here on. In the UK they happen 6:30 UK time, so obviously that's going to be very different around the world. Mike Bike off work for a few weeks, allowed to ride outside. Sunny Blues. Whereabouts are you, Mike? Solo rides on empty roads. That sounds like you could be here in the UK. Although at the moment, looking outside, the weather's rather overcast. So I personally might go for a ride a bit later on today. Although I must admit, I'm a little bit of a wuss it being a bit too cold for me. Tact Vortex has broke Mike Kemp. That's unfortunate. I don't know if a Tact Vortex is a smart trainer or one of the dumb trainers. If you're just going to go for a dumb trainer, I think you can pick one up at Halfords. Or a few weeks ago, before all of this started, you could pick one up at Halfords for about £50. And since then, I think they've put their prices up. So Buddy Wheels, Leonard, what tyres do you run on your summer bike? I've got 2 main summer bikes. I've got the Cannondale and I've got the Trek. The tyres on the Trek I know are Conti, I think they're 3000s or something. and they work pretty well. On the Trek, on the Cannondale, that's their 28 tyres, or 28mm tyres, and I must admit I don't know off the top of my head what brand they are. They're basically the tyres that came with the bike when I bought it back in November 2018. So far, I've not had a single puncture on the Cannondale, which is absolutely amazing. And I did think that I was running tubeless on them for some reason. I thought they came as standard, but apparently when you do run tubeless, you have a funny little thing on the valve, and I don't think that's on there. So I'm not too sure if that is tubeless or not. If it's not tubeless, it's absolutely brilliant that I've not had a single puncture on there. During the Zwift ride, there was a yellow beam over me, presumably. I was waiting for an alien abduction. Well, I'm rather glad that it didn't happen, because that would have made the Zwift session a little bit tricky for me. Not to mention, yes, being abducted by aliens might have spoilt my day a little bit. I'm glad it didn't happen. Mickey, do you think that the Prudential Ride London will go ahead? Again, I said in the vlog that at the moment I've not heard anything to say that it won't go ahead, but I did have somebody comment recently. I can't remember if that was on Facebook or on the YouTube vlog, and they were saying that the Excel Centre is now obviously being used as a hospital, and I don't know what part the Excel Centre plays in the Prudential Ride London. But he was kind of suggesting that it was somewhere where people would gather, and it was being used for something for the Prudential Ride London. And obviously it needed a big space, and that's now a hospital. So he was saying that he personally thought that it wouldn't take place. I don't know. We're going to have to just wait and see, I think. It's a second-hand roller train too. Okay. That's unfortunate. You can't get your money back. So Nigel, yes, not done any vlogs for a while. Got a few planned though, coming soon. Yep. Well, good luck with that, Nigel. I'll tune in when they're posted. I must admit, it's quite hard for me to keep up with all the other YouTube channels that I follow now. I think at the last count it was about 7. So I've got my Cannondale, I've got my Trek, I've got my Specialized. I've got my Principia. No, yes, the Principia that I use on the Turbo Trainer. I've got my Isaac that's recently been serviced, and I've got my mountain bike. And actually, that's 6 bikes. Yeah, 6 bikes. Jason Peters, hi from New Zealand. We're in total lockdown at present. Cycling difficult, long distance anyway. Enjoy your cycling. I think we will. And I seem to remember hearing something about some New Zealand government minister who's pushing the lockdown, saying that you can't drive somewhere and then cycle. Hasn't he just been arrested or caught by the police for doing precisely that? Driving somewhere and then going for a ride. I might have got my story wrong, but yes, that's what I heard today. Mo, sorry, can't find you on Zwift. What name do you use? It's Leonard Lee, and then in brackets JGV. I ride under the flag of Antarctica, would you believe? Jeffrey, I go tubeless on my gravel bike and regular tubes on my road bike. Tubeless is questionable on a small road. Yeah, I kind of follow the logic of that. I mean, I don't know, I've never done gravel riding, but I imagine that the risk of a puncture while riding on gravel is slightly higher than when you're riding on the road. Buddy wheels, like you, I'm a fuller figured rider. Do you have any advice on getting optimal tyre pressures? Oddly enough, one of my viewers from the YouTube channel sent me some photos. There's an app apparently. If I just look very, very quickly on my phone, I can give you the name of the app. And basically what you do, you put your bike details in, you put your weight in, and it works out the optimum tyre pressure for your bike, for the front and the rear wheel. So where are we? Let's have a look. Got it here. So it's Norm Hanley, one of my viewers on Strava, on YouTube. It's called the Berto Tyre Pressure Apps, and Berto is spelt Berto. And like I say, what you do, you go on there. He just sent me some photos. I've not looked at the app myself. And basically, from what I can see that Norm sent me, you go onto the app, put the weight of the bike in, you put your weight in, and then it will calculate the tyre pressures for the front and the rear tyre based on the width of the tyre as well. And I have to admit, the photos that Norm sent me did surprise me. The tyre pressures were a lot higher than I first thought. So typically on my 28 tyres, I've been putting about 80 psi in there, but this was coming out a lot higher than that. Extraordinary. But again, if you're in any doubt, I think most tyres have the maximum tyre pressure printed on the tyre itself, and never exceed that, because when they explode, believe me, they explode, and you wouldn't want that happening, would you? Not when you're cycling along. So let's see. Do you have any feedback on any other indoor cycling platforms other than Zwift? I've been using the particular rides, and then it takes all the data from your sensors and runs the video according to how fast you're cycling. That's pretty good, because the choice of routes are quite wide as well. So the other day I rode up the Cap Formentor in Mallorca. That's a road obviously that I've ridden in real life a few times, and I recognised quite a lot of the route on the video. So I really enjoyed that. So yeah. Len Baird. Hello, Leonard, from another Leonard. Many people call me Len. So yes, I get called all sorts. Lenny, Len, Leonard, Leonardo, Leopold when I'm sort of out and about in Europe. So that's yes, it's one of those names that you can put infinite variations on. And I often think that it's a very good indicator of how the person talking to you sees you. So thus far, the Canadian government has not imposed a total public ban. I believe it's coming. Yeah, it could be coming anywhere, couldn't it? Really, a lot of people are saying that it's obviously to relieve stress on the medical services, and yet, okay. And plus, I think I read somewhere as well that they are recommending only rides up or between an hour and 2 hours. That's kind of what I've seen, and that does kind of make sense to me. Although, again, if you saw the vlog on Tuesday, I've been on Strava and I've seen people doing lots of rides a lot further than that. Only yesterday I saw somebody had done a ride, 80, 90 kilometres, and obviously that's up to them, and they're completely at liberty to do that. But I personally wouldn't ride that far. Great profile pic on your Zwift account. Yes, I don't know where I found that. The poor chap, I've no idea who he is, but it just kind of summed up how I see myself most of the time. 70 watching, 24 likes. That's amazing. I'm just going to flick over very quickly to YouTube. Yeah, 67 at the moment. So that's amazing. 67 people. God, if I was in a room with 67 people and I was stood up on a platform at a lectern, asked to give a speech, that would just absolutely terrify me. It doesn't seem quite so bad on here. So, Shingi Mutandawa, Shumi, don't know what that means. Hopefully that's something nice. Many thanks on the tyre pressures. Yep, have a look at the app. Yeah, it should be a great tool actually. So Mike Kemp, I love using the tax app for cycling. It's great. I've not used that, I must admit. I think because I've got a tax trainer as well, and there was some information about that, but I just didn't want to sign up for another kind of subscription thing. I did get sent an invitation by RG Cycling or something. There's another app around at the moment that's really good. It's a little bit like Zwift, but the scenery seems to be slightly more realistic. And he asked me to try it out, but unfortunately, you need a power sensor or a smart trainer to be able to get the thing to work, and I couldn't get it working. And although it looked really, really good, and it's completely free at the moment, yeah, I couldn't get it to work. Unfortunately, RGT, that's the one. Thank you, Mavericks. Yes, I could not get it to work. Maybe one day when I buy a power sensor, I'll give it another go. So big wheel, tyre pressure, weight 120 kilos plus 9 kilo bike. You put in 112 psi on 28mm tyres. See, that's interesting. That's kind of correlating to what the photos that I was being sent. Yeah, that makes sense. I've only been putting 80 psi in my 28s because somebody, yeah, I don't know where I heard it, but basically they were saying that you should put lower tyre pressure, lower pressures in 28s, and they work just as well. So I'm going to try the higher tyre pressures from now on. My normal kind of go-to pressure is about 100 psi. Big Will, keep up the good work on the videos and the blogs. Yep, that's the plan. Hopefully I will do, and hopefully I'll be doing a few more of these live streams as well. So I would appreciate some kind of suggestions about what kind of things we could do with these live streams. Obviously there's Zwift, and I can show you all of that working now. We could go over and do something like this. So live Zwifting could be a thing, or although that might sort of put a lot of pressure on my computer and the connection, the internet connection that I've got. Although at the moment I'm looking at the OBS app, it's saying that the CPU is only being it's only like 30%, so that doesn't sound too bad. So I'm just going to go back to the camera with the chat to where we were. So I'm a little behind. YouTube is up to 85, so I'm just going to go over to YouTube and have a quick look. Oh, 78 as far as I can see. So come back over to OBS. So Shingi, sorry that was a typo earlier on. Just wanted to say thanks for the videos. I do find them very good and informative. Well, you're welcome, Shingi. Thanks for watching. Yeah, the channel would be nothing, absolutely nothing, without the people that watch it. Paul Hadfield did 70 miles yesterday. The biggest worry is a breakdown. All bike shops shut. Not so far from now on. Yeah, I think my sort of belief is that if you go out and do a ride, and even like a simple mechanical means that if you can't fix it yourself and get yourself back on the road, you need somebody else to come and get you or to give you some help. And obviously if it's not a family member, then you're exposing them to any potential virus that you're carrying, and obviously they're exposing you to any potential virus that they're carrying. So it's swings and roundabouts really, I suppose. I thought that the bike shops were classed as essential services though. I know the bike shop just up the road from me was open last week. Definitely last week it was open. I don't know whether he's closed or not. Maybe you're watching, Stephen. You'll let us know. So Frosty, so 112 psi got to be way too much. I have to say, Frosty, that from what I saw on the photos that that Norm sent me, 112 psi doesn't sound too much to me on 28s. But make sure that you just don't exceed the maximum pressure stated actually on the tyre. Lee Stanway, always very informative and inspiring. Thanks for your video. Again, thank you for watching, Lee. Yeah, I'll just plug away at it and yeah, do my best really. Too low tyre pressure slows you down. I've tested it. It certainly does. Yeah, I can really notice when the tyre pressure is up a bit, definitely. You can tweak your riding style by lowering it to 5 psi at a time until you get a pinch flat Yeah, we don't like pinch flats. Heading to bed in Sydney. 7 a.m. Zwift ride. Well, have a nice sleep there, Sinead. Love the channel. Keep it up. Love to do a jolly good velo ride. See you on live stream again. Yeah, so Sinead, if you want to join the Jolly Good Velo rides, you're more than welcome, as indeed anybody else is. So just, yeah, follow me on Zwift, and then the system will allow me to send you an invite. Willem, hello there, Willem. Yeah, how's it going out there in the Netherlands? Thank you for the stroop waffles. I haven't forgotten that you sent me them. They were delicious. They're very different to the ones that we get here in the UK. They were a lot more kind of crunchy. I know you said that the fresh ones taste very different. So no, I really appreciated that. That was a very, very thoughtful thing to do. Thank you again, Willem. And before I hit the hay, Jason Peters just wanted to say, love your videos, dry sense of humour. And the countryside there looks great. Again, I don't know if I've explained it, but where I live in the heart of the South Downs, which is officially an area of outstanding natural beauty. So it's very, very beautiful where I live. And the rolling hills, they're quite tough to kind of ride up, some of them. There's a ride that I will do one of these days up a thing called Harvesting Lane, and it's very long, very hard, 20% at the top, but it's all stunning countryside, so it's a lovely place to visit. So if you fancy coming over, come and stay here in the South Downs, and we'll all go out for a ride sometime. In Austria, bike shop are not allowed to sell, but to repair. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Looks like Bruce Ricketts went to a bike shop here in Melbourne today. One customer admitted at a time. Yeah, that's quite sensible. I went supermarket shopping yesterday down at my local Lidl's, and they were only allowing 40 people in the shop at any one time, and they were operating a policy of one person out, one person in, and it was very calm, very organised in there. I could not, congratulate them more down at Lidl's. Everything was on the shelves. Only a couple of things that I couldn't get, and they were silly things. I needed a washing up brush, some spring onions, and some bratwurst sausages. I couldn't find them. So everything else on my list was there. So that was absolutely fantastic. Len Baird, I'll chime in on the topic. You're great, Len. Keep it up. Thanks, Len. Yeah, we're all great. Dave, vegan Dave Box. The bike shop near me in Cockermouth, Cumbria is open. It's classed as essential. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. It's not just people going out cycling for exercise. It's also key workers that are cycling to work and back. Yeah, so many of them might not have any other transport. So yeah, keeping them on the roads is absolutely essential. 0.177 shooter. I'm 95 kilos. Bike is around 9.5 kilos. You put 115 psi in 28mm tyres. Feels good. Yep, I can imagine that. I do have a little personal experience with. Back in the day, I used to ride the standard, I think the 24mm tyres, and I pumped them up to 120 psi. And I put them in a conservatory once, and okay, admittingly, the conservatory got up to 50 degrees Celsius, so it was pretty warm in there, and both tyres exploded, with a force so great that they completely destroyed both of the wheels, so I won't be doing that again. I'm curious what size cranks you run. I'm a big boy too, and when using 72.5s with a high cadence, my legs really run onto my gut, and I notice you seem to have the same issue in video. Considered a video. I have, but obviously then that would mean me having to buy shorter, longer cranks and test them out. I think my thing with why I personally kind of bounce up and down on the bike is maybe I'm trying to pedal a bit too fast. I think off the top of my head, I run the 172.5s as well, and there are times when they work perfectly for me, and I think it does also have a lot to do with saddle height as well. When the saddle's a bit higher with me, I tend not to bounce quite so much, and when my cadence is closer to 90 revs per minute, again, I tend not to bounce quite so much. So I think it's basically down to my poor pedaling style. Rider weight factors in. Okay. Don't forget my invite to the Alpe de Witch. Well, I'll certainly look into that. It sounded tough last week. It still sounds tough this week, but I shouldn't really shy away from tough rides, should I? I should give them a go. I would love to, Chris Oliver, I would love to join you zigzagging up Harvesting Lane. I will give you a shout when I move down to Pompey. No, yeah, by all means, give me a shout when you move down here. I don't know where you are now. If you've ever ridden up the Harvesting Lane, you'll know how hard it is. I've ridden up it about 3 or 4 times, and oddly enough, the first time I rode up it, which was about 13 years ago, I considered myself pretty fit. In fact, I was racing back in those days, and I couldn't make it to the top. And I think it might have had something to do with just underestimating how steep it was. And then the last time I rode up it, which was only about 18 months, 2 years ago, I was considerably heavier and less fit, and I managed to get up to the top okay. So Les Reed, you can't, where have you gone? Can't find you on Zwift. Do you have to be live on the program to connect with you? No, I think you can just go on to the Zwift companion app and look for riders. There's a search facility on there. You just go on there, type my username in, which is Leonard Lee brackets JGV, and you'll find me. Some people have been confused by the Antarctica flag, but no, that's me, and the avatar looks a bit unusual as well. So yeah, there can't be many people riding under the flag of Antarctica. So have you, and yeah, I made a film about that. So that's on the channel there somewhere. So just go on and have a quick look. So Shingy, again, what's your Zwift name? Yeah, I've just said it's Leonard Lee, open in brackets JGV. So if you look on the Zwift companion app, you should be able to find me. Kaloyan, yep, out there in Bulgaria, you should be studying instead of watching me. Oh, I'm a bad influence. Yeah. What do you study out there? I think you're in Sofia, aren't you? I've been to Bulgaria, but I've only been to the Black Sea coast. Went to Varna many, many years ago. Jeffrey Slavich, trying to add a tyre rolling resistance website. Okay, but it isn't showing. Can't help with that, unfortunately, Jeffrey. Provides rolling list in a lab setting. Okay. Bella Natural 01 just wanted to stop by and say that I really enjoy your channel. Well, thanks for watching, Bella. You're very welcome there. Gary Martin, do you think bar staff and hairdressers will be counted as key workers after the lockdown? Are they still? I think bars and pubs are closed. So I don't know about hairdressers. I obviously need to go one at the moment. I don't know how much longer I can go like this. I end up looking like Robinson Crusoe or something. So as far as I know, they're not considered key workers at the moment, but who knows in the future. Same 2018, Frosty has the same 2018 Synapse. Had 2 failures on the shifters replaced under warranty, and rear wheel hub worn at 6,000 miles. How did yours hold up? So far, the shifters are working perfectly. To be honest, I don't think I've done quite 6,000 miles on it, but so far, I'm not having any issues with my Cannondale whatsoever. It's functioning as good as the day I bought it. HF always say, oh, use them Saturday. Obviously, people chatting between themselves. That's fantastic. Apex Schindler, I love your channel. 4,300 kilos, and this is great motivation. Did 1,800 kilometers this year. That's brilliant. If you've done 1,800 kilometers in only what, just on 4 months, that's blimey. What's that? That's well, my maths is terrible. So it's 450 kilometers a month. Is it? Yeah, that's pretty good. Very good, in fact. Hello, more vids, please. Love your talk. Okay, well, yeah, I'm trying my best. As you know, I post every Tuesday. I do like a little vlog on a Tuesday about how the riding's been going and how the week's been, for me. And then on a Friday, I'll post something a bit more kind of how-to-y. So yeah, I hope you're all enjoying those. Trevor Taylor, yep. Hi Leonard, hope all is well. Yep, here in Hampshire, things are fantastic. Um, Obviously, I'm kind of stuck in the house at the moment, but the actual staying in the house bit doesn't bother me one little bit. Yeah, I don't mind it, and I can go out for a ride when I fancy it. But as I said earlier, I'm not overly keen on cycling out on the road at the moment, mainly because of the weather. It's turned a bit cold again, so as soon as the sun's out, I'll be going out for my one session of exercise a day a bit more often. Richard, hello from the Netherlands. Hello there, Richard. Where are we? Tried your Les Reed, tried your suggestion, still can't find you. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I'm very, very easy to find on Zwift. I'll try looking for you at some point. Les Reed, I'll make a note of that. Do you have any more Zwift events planned for this month? Yes, at the moment, I'm planning on doing the Jolly Good Velo rides every Tuesday evening at 6:30 UK time. So, like I said, if you want to join those, you have to follow me on Zwift, and then I can send you an invite. And the system will only allow 50 people, so it's first come, first served. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, love to see you on Zwift on a Tuesday evening. So we've got somebody else in California. All right, so yeah, Bruce, thanks for yeah. Yeah, people are finding me quite easy. Just going to pop over to yeah, 82 viewers. That's amazing. Just wanted to try something else as well. I've set this OBS up, and I can play out little videos. So I found a video from 2003 when I raced in the Duo Normand. See if you can. So I can't see any of the comments at the moment. All I can see is the video playing. So I'm just going to pop over to the YouTube thing. So can anybody see the video playing? And if you can hear the video playing, can you hear me as well over the top of that? Anybody? So I'm just going to scroll through some of these comments. Okay, Les Reed has found me on Strava. Frosty, hope you do a Zwift ride on a weekend Sunday. The weekday time. Okay, I see what I can do. So anybody see what's happening on? No, it's all going to pop here. Okay, let's stop the film. Let's go back over to there. Here we go. Are we doing a special kit again for next ride? Does help to identify each other. Yes, I think it does. I was able to see them because I think somebody was suggesting using the B kit on Zwift, and that does seem like a good idea. I couldn't change it last minute. I think I was already on the ride, so I think I'll change it for the next one that we do on Tuesday. I can't hear any audio on the video. Yep, there's no sound from the video. We'll see. Cool. That seems to be Aphid Hancock. I logged in especially to say hi, Leonard. I see the video, but hear only you. That's. I keep meaning to ask you, Aphid. That can't be your real name. So what's the story there with the aphid and the little avatar that you use? Is that somebody like Borat, or what's the story there? I would love to know the story there. Jeffrey, the video, no sound. Okay. The sound on the video was turned down quite low. I've got like audio meters that I can see on the OBS, and I can see that the sound is going through the OBS, but I've deliberately kept it quite low. I might do another test with that at some point. Maverick, 6:30 UK time is a little early. I know, yeah. Unfortunately, that's like the early hours of the morning, isn't it, out there in Australia? Depending where you are. So yeah, it's striking that balance. I think if I do it at a sort of later here in the UK, then it's not a good time in the US, and then if I do it a bit earlier, it's not good for people in Australia. So what I might have to do is either do a couple of rides. So one that would be good for the UK and then the US, and then one a bit later that's a bit better for people out in Australia and sort of for sort of Asia and places like that. So aphid Anthony Paul Hancock is daft. Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Anthony. So that's your real name. Blimey. So what's with the avatar while riding Zwift? Oh, okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Alan. Vegan David Box. I just got a set of Cardio Sport sensors for my bike. Good quality. They are. I mean, they're a company. They're very good friends of the channel. They are literally about 3 miles down the road from me. So I know James down there and Callum down there, and they are indeed sponsoring my Mallorca trip. So James and I James from Cardio Sport and I are going out to Mallorca, hopefully in September if it's not cancelled. I've done one training ride with him, and then obviously all this lockdown happens, so we can't go out cycling. But hopefully James is doing some cycling of his own. Don't have Zwift yet, but working on it. Would love to join you. Do you know if you can use an Apple TV to run Zwift and use the companion app on Android, or do they both need to be iOS? Thanks. I think you can run Zwift on an Apple TV. I think it's all a question of if you run the Zwift app on your iPhone, then I think you can just screencast it to an Apple TV. I say that with caution because I've never done it. I don't have an Apple TV myself. So, and the companion app on Android, last time I looked, I don't think Zwift was on Android, but I'm sure somebody on here this morning might provide a more accurate answer for that. Lee Stanway, now I'm following you on Zwift and look forward to the Tuesday evening ride invite. How do I get a notification? Well, I've seen a couple of things come through on my phone here. I see you there, Lee Stanway. Yes, I've had quite a few invites, so I'll be sending. So I've had quite a few people follow me during this live cast. So what I'll do, once this live cast is finished, I'll be sending you all out invites, and you should be able to join the ride subject to the maximum number of riders. And again, I don't know. I know there is a maximum of 50 riders, and I don't know whether that's 50 invites or 50 people who accept or 50 people who actually turn up for the ride. But it's just going to be a case of first come, first served. If you're not actually able to do the ride, it's not anything that I'm doing. It's basically the Zwift system saying, no, we've reached our maximum, unfortunately. But I hope to see everybody there Tuesday evening. So where are we? Looking good. Learn, keep safe. We'll be back on the black stuff soon. My brother, vertically challenged. Yeah, by black stuff, I hope you mean the tarmac and not the Guinness. Although Guinness is quite nice from time to time as well. Excellent time for California, only 4:50. I'm up. Okay, cool. Any plans to do a tax TDA platform? Don't no. I'm not sure what that is. I think that might be the app that tax do, isn't it? No, I've not really had any experience with that. I'm quite happy with the Zwift and the Kino map at the moment. I might do the road, the RGT one that I talked about earlier, but that does depend on me getting some power sensors for the bike. So where are we? Make a 24-hour long endurance ride. Good for the whole world. Yes, that would be good, but not quite so good for me, unfortunately. I think it would kill me. It's a fantastic idea, though. Maybe we could do like a relay or something. Meet up for one of these group rides, and we maybe appoint people around the world. So you know, I cycle for here in the UK for an hour, and then somebody in Europe cycles for an hour, and then somebody in Asia cycles for an hour, and keep it going like that. That would be pretty fun, actually. So, any volunteers? Yeah, comment on my on the latest film today. So yeah, if you're volunteering to do that, let's maybe make that happen. The avatar is actually a very close up of me, honest. Okay, it was also the actual sort of the color of it as well. It kind of looked like one of these 1970s retro photos. So yeah, good to see you, Anthony. Hello from Kavala, Greece. Hello there, Greece. Hope it's nice and warm down there for you today. I was able to add the Rolling Resistance website to the Facebook page. That would be very interesting to have a look at that, Jeffrey. Thank you. So Steve Webb saying, yes, you can run on Apple. Big Will J, what's the longest ride you've ever done? Have you ever heard of Chase the Sun ride? My personal longest ride is just over 100 miles. I did that back in 2015 when I was training for the Paris Hailing ride. Yeah, it's not a ride you want to underestimate. It's a lot longer than you think. And the ride to the sun, Chase the Sun ride, isn't that what they call Paris-Nice? I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. But what is it with beer not being vegan? You know, I don't understand that. Hello there, Luke. How are you? So Mavericks is up for that in Oz. Cool. So yeah, just put your details in the comments on the YouTube film that I posted today, and then we can sort of try and make that happen. Check out GP Lama, an Australian guy on YouTube. He has many programs setting up turbo trainers, reviews, and has setups for Apple TV. Yeah, I think the setup for Apple TV is pretty easy. As far as I'm aware, the Zwift app only works on iOS, and if you're on iOS, then it's very easy to get it to all work on an Apple TV. Has anyone sent you dollars? There is a button dangerously close to the send button. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, nobody sent me any dollars at the moment. Yes, I think maybe that might be a plan that YouTube have deliberately done, so that somebody sends a donation or a tip or whatever they want to call it, and a good bike, or which one of the bikes do you prefer? Michael Chan. Well, any bike really. It depends very much on you. Yeah, it's very hard to recommend a bike for somebody that I don't know. I know the bikes I've bought. I haven't really done any massive amount of research on them. For instance, the Trek that I bought back in 2014, I bought it basically because I liked the colour. I knew Trek was a very good brand. I fancied something with Di2. I was doing something with the bike shop, so they offered me a very good discount. Obviously, I rode the bike beforehand, tried it out, liked it, and then I bought it. And then the Cannondale, they were doing a Black Friday deal, so it was drastically reduced. I liked the look of it. Again, I had a test ride on one. The gearing was really nice, and I just bought it. So basically, it's just, yeah, buy the bike that you want. Okay, Vegan David Box. Some alcohol beverages are filtered with fish swim bladders. Okay, that's interesting. Chase the Sun ride is from east to west of England, which is 205 miles in one day. And there's one in Italy. Oh, thank you, Big. I didn't know that. Like I said, I obviously knew the Chase the Sun ride down in France, but and I see why it's called the Chase the Sun ride, because you're obviously chasing. Yeah, you have the hard job to try and chase it properly. But that sounds like a long ride, 205 miles in one day. Yeah, I'd struggle with over 100 miles in a day. I think Roger Maguire, I think you missed my earlier comment re heavy riders and saddles. Were you going to do a video yesterday? Got a Brooks Cambium C17. I'm 114 kilos. Seems good so far. Yes, I think a couple of people have asked me to make a video about saddles and things. So it's on my list. Again, I just ride the saddles that come with the bikes, and I haven't really had any issues with them. So yeah, so Steve Webber, you Steve Webber that I used to work with. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Have you ever thought of buying an electric bike? I've not thought about buying one, but if you're watching the live stream that I did last week, I do have plans to kind of try one out. I've been invited along to a company that make, a very famous company actually, that make just normal bikes, and they've started making electric bikes, and they would like me to try one out for a couple of weeks. So I'm quite looking forward to doing that, and we were supposed to be doing that right now, but obviously with all of the stuff that's happening, that's proving to be a little bit difficult, but we still have plans to do that, and obviously when it happens, you'll see it all. And there's also plans to take that bike over to Italy and do some rides out in Italy on them. Where are we? Short sleeves for the first time here today in Japan. Wow. It's a little bit cold for that here still. I'm really looking forward to it, but I don't think we're too far away. Yeah. Lots of wine is not vegan, and Guinness isn't vegan. Why isn't wine vegan? Watching from Wexford, Ireland, by the way. Hello there, Roger. How's it out there in Wexford? Watching from Chester. Brilliant. Wow. So let's just go over to YouTube. So that's cool. Still sort of hovering at about 70 viewers. It's pretty cool. So what's everyone's plans for the rest of the day? I might go for a ride a bit later on, if I can be brave enough to go out there in the cold. Although the sun looks like it's starting to shine a little bit today, so I might ride down to Southsea, which is right on the coast there, almost to go and have a look and see how deserted it is. That's going to be fairly interesting. Swim bladders for the fish, used as filters in many wines and Guinness. Oh, okay. Speedy Steedy, just tuned in. Hi from Sydney, Australia. Hello there, Sydney. How's it down in Sydney today? Yeah, our neighbours are down in Sydney at the moment. They're kind of stuck there, unfortunately. Hello from California. Hello there, California. What's California like today? I imagine all these places are quite sunny, or at least considerably sunnier than it is here in Hampshire this morning. How about doing the Buns Bent and Hoe route 4 or 5 times to bag your 100k ride? Yeah, well that I'd only need to do that 3.5 times. So it's 30 kilometres round the Buns Bent and Hoe. Yeah, I could certainly do that. It's an idea. It's quite tough though, but no, let's see. Who knows? Sort of silly thing I'd do. Bill Pickle, hey Leonard, love the content. You got any thoughts on ride time distance during this lockdown? Hello from Scotland. Again, I think I said in the vlog that I've seen many people doing long rides, and of course, you know, when Boris said a week ago on Monday that we're allowed to go out for one ride a day, he didn't specify how far we can ride or how long we should be riding. I think it's whatever you feel comfortable with. I personally don't want to do too long a ride, just in case I have a mechanical or anything like that. And obviously places where they've banned cycling completely, it's because they think that if you have an accident and you need hospital treatment, you're putting strain on their health system. But I suppose you could argue that, you know, if you were stuck at home, you could fall down the stairs, you could, you know, cut yourself chopping onions for your evening meal or something. So if you're going to have an accident, okay, the risk might be a bit higher if you're out and about, but I don't know. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, I would suggest. Roger, the weather here is similar to yours. As crow flies, we aren't too far apart. No, we're probably not, actually. Some of us are stuck in the home office doing real work. Well, no, absolutely. I don't know why people don't work from home more anyway. I mean, it saves on the commute. And 11 p.m. and raining. Ooh, not very nice at all. Chucko Khan, is there still a Butlins in Bognor? There is indeed. It's pretty big. Basically, I think it almost sort of takes over the whole town. I normally go down to the Bognor Butlins to do an 80s music weekend every December. I've done that for the last 4 years and seen some, you know, it's actual bands, so it's not, you know, tribute bands. You see the actual original artists down there, and it's great fun. But unfortunately, they've stopped that now, so there's no more. I think the nearest one to do one of those 80s weekends is somewhere like Weston-super-Mare, which is about a 3-4 hour drive for us, so it's a bit too far. I'm just joining in. If this truly live feed, please respond by saying hello. Hello RJ, this is a truly live feed. Yeah. Best tyre recommendations for speed, not commuting, please. I must admit, I'm not really a tyre expert. The tyres that I run on my Trek are Continental 3000s, I think, and that does seem to ride a lot faster than my Cannondale. So all I can say is that the Continentals are much faster than whatever I've got on the Cannondale, and that's probably not going to help you much because I don't know what's on the Cannondale. Charlie Little, enjoy your shows. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, glad to have you watching. Zwift indoors for me, I'm afraid. Les Reed. Enjoy your ride and try and catch up on Zwift. Wishing you good afternoon to all and stay safe. Yep, echo that as well. Hope everyone's staying safe, whatever and however that works. The first 100-kilometre ride that anybody does is a massive milestone for any cyclist. I remember the first ever 100-kilometre ride I did was back in the sort of the mid-90s, and I remember I just did a 30-kilometre route, and I just went backwards and forwards along this 30k route until I hit the 100 kilometres. And when I finished it, I was absolutely shattered. Yeah, I couldn't speak. I was, you know, really worn out. And then about 3 weeks later, I did another 100-kilometre ride. Felt absolutely fine. and even did a time trial about an hour after I finished that. So I think that to me just kind of demonstrated how your kind of mind plays tricks on you. The first time I did the 100 kilometers, I built it all up and you know, conquered this absolutely massive um, kind of milestone for me. And then the second time I did it, I knew 100% that I could ride 100 kilometers, and I did it. And yeah, it was brilliant. So right, football tournament, Sydney presumably. Um, Roger Maguire, I'm a musician. Unfortunately, all venues closed here. I've been doing live shows via YouTube just to keep sane, using OBS as it happens. Yeah, Roger, I think we're very similar. You know, oddly enough, I was a musician once back in the day, back in the very early 90s, late 80s. And now, you know, I'm trying to earn a living as a cameraman. And yeah, it's very hard when you're kind of self-employed like that and relying on venues and people to kind of give you jobs. Yeah, I hope it sort of picks up for you. And if you're in the UK, I hope you're able to take advantage of the funding that the government's giving us self-employed people. Still riding in NYC, no problem. Stay safe, be strong. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the actual situation there is in New York. I think it does vary from state to state, doesn't it? Next year you might want to check out Alb Extreme. Great organised bike event in Germany. Okay, no, it's all worth looking at. Perhaps you could send me some details in a link in one of the films on the channel. That would be very good to ride in Germany. I've never ridden in Germany. I can imagine the roads out there are absolutely beautiful. I've driven many times in Germany, and the surface is just, yeah, it's like riding on butter. Thanks for all the videos, but yeah, no problem. Glad you're enjoying it. Continental GP 5000s are great for filling resistance and robustness. A bit pricey. Love the two videos you put out for the trainer, both done quite a few times. Thanks, David. Yeah, I was a little worried about putting those up. They're obviously not my typical content. You know, it's just, you know, for turbo training. And I have to admit, part of it was a little bit of an experiment just to see if I could A, film something for that long, and B, you know, edit it for that long and put it out onto YouTube for that long, and then what people think of it. You know, yeah. So hopefully people are enjoying those and using on the turbo trainers. It's interesting getting some dislike. Who would dislike that? I don't know. What genre music were you into, Leonard? Well, if you're on about when I was a musician back in the day, I played in all kinds of bands. I was in a kind of a surfers band. I'm playing, you know, kind of, yeah, time that common sense forgot, eh? Any chance you can put a few data points on your videos? Yes, I could. I could. All of the ride videos that I've done do have the GPS data with them, so you obviously can't see that because I haven't put it on there. But if I was to re-edit those videos using something called Garmin Verb Edit, then I could overlay all of the GPS data, so you'd see the speed, the gradient, the cadence, the heart rate, and all things like that. So that's something that I might do, but for an hour and a half might be a little dull for some people. But I can certainly do it on some shorter rides, definitely. Have you ever done cycling in the London area? It seems like a talent alone to do so. The only ride I've ever done in London was when I bought my Trek, and again I've put a film of that on the channel. I picked the bike up and then I just went for a quick ride around London. One of my bucket list items was to ride a bike over Westminster Bridge and see Big Ben, and I did that the day that I bought that bike. Unfortunately for me, Big Ben, I think to this day is still covered in scaffolding as they're renovating it or something. So I didn't get the full experience, but yeah, the traffic was just absolutely chaos. It's not a place that I would ride for fun. Let me put it that way. You know, admire somebody who can commute around London every single day. Yeah, it's not something I would want to do. Have you got any bike movie recommendations? I love American Flyers. Yeah, I saw that one years ago. I'd like to watch it again, actually. Kevin Bacon, isn't it? Kevin Bacon and Kevin Costner, I seem to remember. Yeah, I know I enjoyed that quite a lot. I love all that kind of era. It's sort of from the late 80s or something, is it? Mid 80s? That's kind of like, I'd like to see that again. At the moment, I've just watched the programme, which covered the Lance Armstrong thing. And that was quite good. But I've also just bought as an Amazon Fire Stick, and I did an Alexa thing on there, and just said, show me cycling documentaries, and I was really surprised how many cycling documentaries were on the Amazon Fire Stick. I watched one called Bicycle, which was all about kind of the history of bikes and stuff, and then I watched a video about the 1928 Tour de France and a team that went over from Australia and New Zealand, and somebody was trying to recreate the ride that they did. So they bought a vintage bike from 1928, and they followed the same route of that year's Tour de France. There was two of them, and it looked like they were in. It was an incredibly hard ride for them. I think that was called Le Ride or Le Race or something like that on Amazon Fire Stick. So have a watch of that. It's like an hour and a half. Really, really interesting, and it gives a whole new kind of respect for the people that rode back in the day on those old bikes. Brilliant. Beaches Bikes. Oh, hello. I don't know your name. You just pop up in the comments as Beaches Bikes Coffee and Cats. Loved your long videos of your ride outdoors. Thank you. Just uploaded a long one here in southern Thailand. Plan to start making more so people can see what it's like. So yeah, maybe put a link to your channel here now, and hopefully people can go over and watch that. George the Movie, is that a cycling film? Yeah, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that. Mammal is a good movie, great laugh. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That's an Australian film, isn't it? I must have try and have a look for that on Amazon Prime. It's not been in the cinemas or anything here. I would like to see that. Vegan Dave Box. Well, everyone, stay safe on the roads out to get some food. Well, yep, bon appetit, David. Yeah, I saw that one. It was great. Try Tour de Pharmacy or Inspired to Ride. Hello, Anita. Nice to hear your name. I'll try and break it down. Okay. Did you see Icarus? No, not even heard of Icarus. I know obviously there's that the chap from Greek mythology, isn't he? But no, I didn't know that was a cycling film. I think I can hear movements downstairs, so I may have to sign off. Let me just go over quickly to 68 viewers. Yep, how long have we been live here? Blimey, an hour and 20 minutes. Good heavens. I would have thought a lot less than that. But anyway, unfortunately, I think that's about it for today. I'm going to have to go and get on with some stuff. So, yeah, stay safe, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on the live stream. Yeah, please, if you've got any ideas or suggestions for upcoming YouTube films, or particularly how we can use these live streams for something, I would really like to hear them. So you can do comment on the Jolly Good Velo Facebook page or the group, and as you can see, the details of that are below, or you can probably even use Twitter. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and yeah, enjoy your day and stay safe. Thanks very much.